Welcome to the JAMSCAKE channel, where we teach you how to create art you can eat. In this tutorial, I'll show you how to create super sharp edges with your buttercream cake. Start off by crumb coating and icing your cake as normally as you can, then stick it in the freezer for about 2 to 6 hours. Normally, it's in the freezer for me overnight, but if you're low on time, you can definitely stick to the 2 to 6 hour rule. Now the key to getting super sharp edges is to have 2 acrylic discs or 2 cake boards that are at least half an inch to an inch bigger than your cake. If your cake is an 8-inch round cake, then I suggest getting a 9-inch acrylic disc or a 9-inch cake board. Being that I'm making a naked cake, I have an acrylic disc that is the same size as my cake since I want some cake to show through the buttercream process. Start off by getting a wax circle that is 1 inch smaller than your disc. The wax circle seen here is 6 inches, the acrylic disc seen here is 7 inches. The cake that I'm using is also a 7-inch circle cake. Make sure to add enough buttercream, about 1/2 inch to 1 inch high, so that it can act as a pillow for your cake to push down on for leveling. Now remember, your cake has been in the freezer for a couple of hours, and once you touch it, no buttercream should come off on your fingertips. Then you take the cake and place it upside down onto your acrylic disc, and then add the second disc on top with a little bit of buttercream to act as a glow. After that, use your cake leveling tool to push down and level out your cake to avoid leaning. The bubble should be directly in the middle to show that your cake is 100% straight. Once your cake is leveled out, use your offset spatula to swipe up any buttercream that has trickled over the side of your acrylic disc. Now using 2 bench scrapers, or in my case, a bench scraper and a ruler, push both acrylic discs together at the same time so that can assure you they're lined up correctly. Once lined up, use your hand to slightly hold the acrylic disc on the top in place while you use the other hand to add some buttercream in between the acrylic and your cake. Make sure to use your bench scraper to remove any excess buttercream on the outside of the discs. Then place your cake in the freezer for about 10 to 15 minutes. After taking your cake out of the freezer, use your buttercream to fill in any remaining gaps in between both discs, and use your bench scraper to smooth it down. Feel free to repeat the process of placing your cake in the freezer for another 15 to 20 minutes just to make sure the buttercream is stiff enough to apply another layer. Now remember, my cake is a naked cake, so I'm okay with some of it being shown through the buttercream. If you don't like this option, feel free to get a bigger disc, that way you can apply more buttercream and hide pieces of the cake.
This is where you see the importance of the acrylic disc sizes. If your disc is actually 1 inch bigger than your cake, you will have no cake showing at all.
If your disc is the same size as your cake as shown here, then your cake will definitely show through the buttercream. After putting final touches on your cake, make sure to put it in the freezer for another 5 to 10 minutes. After removing it from the freezer, get a very sharp knife and hold it to a flame for about 5 to 10 seconds so that it warms up. Then, using that knife, push a groove in between your acrylic disc and your cake so that you can loosen up the disc and remove it completely. Once removed, apply a bit of buttercream in any gaps, and then get your cake drum or whatever board you plan to present the cake on, place it on top of the cake, and then flip the cake over right side up. Make sure to use your bench scraper to remove any excess buttercream. Then use the same process with your knife to remove the second disc on your cake. And don't forget to remove the wax paper as well. Then make sure to use any excess buttercream to fill in any gaps and your offset spatula to smooth it out. After using your bench scraper, make sure to use your offset spatula to pull in any excess buttercream from the edge of your cake. This is what creates this sharp edge. Then continue using your bench scraper and your offset spatula until you've reached your desired sharpness. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit that red button below and subscribe to our channel for weekly cake hacks, tips, tricks, and tutorials.